Okay, so I'm going to present our reading and technology presentation. Share the screen here. All right, writing and technology. So the stages of writing can be divided into 4 sections. There's pre-literate, emergent, transitional, and fluent. In pre-literate, there is the scribble stage, and that's when the student writes anywhere on the page and figures don't resemble print. Next comes the symbolic stage, and this is when they still write anywhere on the page, but the pictures are random strokes there's pictures or random strokes with intention and purpose. And then there's directional scribble. This is when the student starts to do left to right and it's in a line. And then you can tell the message is intentional. After that is symbolic or mock letters. This is when the letters are like symbols, but they're not intentional and spacing is rare. Now on the emergent section, there is strings of letters, and this is when various letters are in random order. They could be right from left to right, and capital letters could be used. After that is groups of letters. This is when letters are grouped with spaces between to look like words. Then we have labeling pictures. The beginning sound matches to the picture that the student makes. And then lastly, in emergent is environmental print. This is when the student copies letters or words from the environment, and reversals are common with this stage. Now the student would be in the transitional stage, and the first part of transitional is letter or word representation. The first letter sound of a word represents that word, and also letter sound relationships are used. Next is first/last letter representation. This is when words are represented by the first and last letter sound. And then the third stage in transitional is medial letter sounds. So this is when the student use phonetic spelling, they attempt medial vowels and some known words, and there's an attempt at spacing and words are readable. The last section of the stages of writing is fluent. So in this section, the first stage of fluency is beginning phase writing. This is when they use all the previous skills that were mentioned to convey a message and to connect it to a drawing. And then after that comes sentence writing. This is when the student uses words in sentence formation. They might use punctuation, but the writing is readable, known words are spelled correctly, and it is topic focused. And then the last stage of writing is 6 traits of writing. This is when the students use the 6 traits. And the 6 traits are conventions, organization, voice, ideas, word choice, and sentence fluency. The elements of writing workshop include a mini lesson, which is about 5 to 10 minutes. This is explicit instruction on a specific writing technique. And then independent writing for 20 to 30 minutes. And students are writing daily, deciding on their writing topic, using folders or notebooks for organization, and conferencing with peers. The teacher is circling the room, conferencing with students, encouraging and providing help if needed. The conferencing is during independent writing, and it's done with teacher one-on-one. This is when the teacher can provide advice and constructive criticism. And then the last part of the workshop is sharing, and this could last 5 to 10 minutes. This is when the students get to learn from each other and they practice their listening and speaking skills. The 3 text types are fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. For fiction, a story could be Pete the Cat. Nonfiction could be a book about ramps or animals. And then poetry could be letter poems and rhyming poems. And on my slide, it's the letter A. Ant, apple, and answer to Adam, Alice, Abby, Sue. The aspects of language arts, there's 6 aspects, are reading, writing, viewing, speaking, listening, and representing. Some things we can do to help English language learners, we first have to understand the challenges for them. So some challenges for ELLs is they have less vocabulary knowledge. They have problems selecting the right English word, and they're really common in making writing mistakes. They struggle to understand homonyms and homographs, so bear versus bear, the spelling differences, B-E-A-R versus B-A-R-E. They don't really understand the meaning or the use behind idioms. Phrases like raining cats and dogs might not make sense to them. Sentence structure, so the verb tense or adjectives can be mixed up sometimes. And then also conventions, so punctuation and capitalization could be hard for these students. Some accommodations we can have for them is when a new vocabulary word is introduced, you can provide the Spanish or whatever language is needed as the word for the word. Teachers can read books about the different cultures of their students or just different cultures in general. You can bring food in that has to do with culture and just make sure to enunciate. Okay, so kindergarten writing. The importance of practicing kindergarten writing at home is it builds motor skills and pencil grip. It strengthens muscles in hands and fingers. Writing at home can help with memorization of letters. It can help with organizing ideas, and it helps students to express their thoughts and creativity. Writing in kindergarten is mostly just writing their ABCs and sometimes middle letters or ending or beginning and ending sounds of words that are displayed with a picture. Pictures are really important in kindergarten for writing because they can't quite read yet, so they have to use their context clues and just ability to make well-structured guesses to help them decide what they should be writing. Some writing encouragement that can be done at home and school. At home, students could write important events on a family calendar. They could help their parents write a grocery list or something outside. They could write the members of their family on the sidewalk with chalk, or they could start a journal. At school, classmates could be a scribe for a peer. They could write on a smartboard during the lesson, write a sticker story, or participate in writing a class book. And that is all I have.